It's another edition of Remember When here on Cable Channel 15 TV and cable15tv.com, YouTube at Newport Cable 15 TV. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Internet. John G.Pennington from George Kell Motor Company. How are you, sir?
Hi, Dave. Doing fine, man. Doing fine.
George Kell Motor Company, the exclusive sponsor right here, the lead sponsor here on Remember When. Been a great program, John, and we like to get on here and talk about product, and we like to talk about new things that we have, and we have got something that is what I call a barn burner.
Yeah.
This is going to burn the barn right here.
Burn it
Tell
down.
us about this little cream puff white truck we've got here behind us.
A couple of years ago, General Motors stopped making the Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon pickup trucks. They were pretty popular, but they were kind of outdated in their style. So they took them off the market in 2012, and they've reintroduced them now, and that's what's behind us. That's a 2015 GMC Canyon crew cab four-wheel drive. In the past, you could get a 4-cylinder or a 5-cylinder engine, and then they came out with the 5.3 V8 with 14 gears, which you and I have talked about before. It was way too overpowered. It was just
Too much power.
Yeah, it really was for a little truck. I mean, it would go, but it's just too much. Now they brought this truck out, and what this truck is, instead of being a real different truck like the Canyon or Colorado used to be, didn't have any similarity at all to the half-ton truck.
Right.
The new Canyon in Colorado is simply a smaller version of the new body style truck that came out in 14. Triple insulated doors, the insulation under the bottom, steering wheel radio controls, all those different things that the old versions didn't have, this has. And you'll see some pictures later on in the show when Ben gets out and takes some pictures of it. These trucks are going to be really something. There's not much in the segment anymore. Toyota still makes one, but they're a little light in the britches.
Right.
We've got some farmers who are really, really excited about these trucks. They're going to have 305 horsepower, 342 gears, available in an extended cab or, as shown behind us, a crew cab. For those who don't need all of that, you can get an extended cab or a crew cab with a 4-cylinder. That'll be on down the road a little bit when they start hitting the market. This is the first one we have. I'd like to invite anybody to come out and test drive it. We've got some people that want to buy it, but it's the only one we have, so we're kind of holding on till we get some more stock so we can sell them. These trucks are going to have the same warranty as all the other, 36 bumper to bumper, then 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty. But the neat thing about these trucks, I think, and I've got one ordered, I'm pretty excited about it. Being a little short guy, you know, these trucks get bigger, taller, wider all the time, and I just can't reach and get anything out of the back of it. These have the same kind of tailgate, the same steps in the bumper, everything just like the big truck. It's just downsized just a little further. So for those who don't need a great big truck and they want one that the fuel efficiency is going to be in the mid-20s, again, it's going to have 305 horsepower with a 3.6 liter. It's the same engine they put in the Cadillac CTS and other. It's been a great little engine. Going to have plenty of torque, going to carry 7,000. You can tow 7,000 with it, with the V6. Next year, a year from now, and I wish they could do it now, but they just can't, we're going to have a 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine in that vehicle.
Wow.
And, you know, our farmers love diesel-powered vehicles because they never turn them off and they run them all the time. So that's going to be an exciting advent for us when they come out. That's going to be a year from now. But we'd like to invite everybody to come out and take a look at the new Canyon, the only one we have. It's an SLT, got heated leather navigation. If you don't want all that, you don't have to order it, but it's a nice truck. And they'll list comparably compared or comparably equipped to a half-ton pickup. They're going to be right at $12,000 less.
Right.
Okay?
Amazing.
Yeah, they're going to be about $11,000 to $12,000 less cost if you get one. If you get a 1500 next to the Canyon, comparably equipped, it's going to be a little cheaper. So, you know, it ain't cheap, but it's going to be less expensive.
Right.
And the great same warranty that General Motors has, plus the great service you've come to expect at George Kell Motors. So come on out, take a look at this truck. We're trying to get some more of them on order. Again, we just got one, and we could sell it. Well, I could have already sold it. In fact, I could have bought it. But
right.
Now, and one other thing I want to mention. This truck behind us has the long box. You can get a vehicle just like this with a foot shorter box. I've got one on order that has a foot shorter box. I don't know what it's going to look like. I've never seen one since that's the first one we've got. But come out, take a look at it, ride and drive, take it down the highway, feel the power that it's got, the fit and finish. You don't hear a lot of rogue noise. Same thing that they did with the bigger trucks, triple insulation and all the things they've done to make them quieter, bigger, stronger. Come out and take a look at it. And while you're here, look at all these other vehicles we've got too. You know, we've got these 2014 full-size pickup trucks right now with $5,000 rebate off of supplier price.
Right.
So you can buy a $46,000 sticker price truck for somewhere right around $38,000. and a little bit more off if you're a Farm Bureau member. So come out to see us, take a look at what we've got. Inventory's coming in every day, and a lot of it's leaving too.
Absolutely.
The best view of a vehicle is the taillights. That's our favorite shot. You remember the day.
I remember the day, my friend.
Come out to George Kell Motors. We'll take great care of you after the sale. We're here. We're going to take care of it. We try to be good corporate neighbors. We donate a lot of money to just about anybody that asks around here, and we'd like for you to do some business in Newport. If you don't do it with us, do it with other people in Newport. Keep the money here local, keep our economy growing. Things are great in Newport, Arkansas, because it's the center of the universe.
It is that, my friend. John G. Pennington, well said, my friend. Brand new Canyon pickup truck, Colorado in the Chevrolet line. And I'm telling you, these folks are going to be #1 sellers in the country. Fantastic. John G., I got a great one to tell everybody. This next Remember When is kind of off the beaten path from where we've ever been before, because we've always interviewed the folks in Newport, Arkansas who grew up here, or folks who spent a lot of time here and talking about Newport, Arkansas. We did something a little different this time. Got a great interview with a good man, handsome Jimmy Valiant, and Bud Black coming up next. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Come see us.
Jackson's Funeral Home and the Jackson family have been serving our friends and neighbors in Jackson County during some of the most difficult times of their lives for nearly 60 years. As the third generation of this family to own and operate Jackson's Funeral Homes, Jan, Rhett, and Jerry consider it the highest honor to be chosen to care for you and your family during times of need. We believe the highest standard of care is achieved when people are given the tools needed to make the most informed decision for the benefit of their family. For us, there's no greater honor than to care for our friends and our neighbors in their time of need. The Jackson's Funeral Homes, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue in Newport, phone number 870-523-5822.
Hi everybody, I'm Bud Black and welcome to our program. And on our program we always like to visit with the interesting people and folks that we know and folks that we've been around at least a portion of our lives that have meant something to us or to the community. And if I told you I wanted you to meet James Harold Fanning, you'd say, well, who is James Harold Fanning? If I said Jimmy Valiant, a bunch of you would say, oh yeah, and then if I said the Boogie Woogie Man, everybody would know.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Newport, Jackson County, Tuckerman.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
You too, Bud. God bless you. And thanks for having me on. And I always look forward coming back here. To Tuckerman area, to Newport, this whole area here. It's such a great wrestling fan area. In fact, we talked earlier, Bud, that I've been everywhere. Handsome Jimmy's been all over the world. I'm like Coca-Cola, man. I was all over for 50 years. I started wrestling in 1964, and this is 2014, 50 years. And hey, I had over 10,000 matches, and I drove 4 million miles on U.S. highways getting to the matches in 50 years. And but I always said, and which I told you, and I told your brother Dave, I says, the greatest wrestling fans, they're all right in here, right in this Mid-South area. And, I'm talking about Memphis, I'm talking about Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi. I mean, it's just such a terrific wrestling fan, and I just love it. I just love it. I call it my home, and especially the Valiant Arena is just right down the street, named after me, and I'm so honored that Ricky Rowland had done that for me, and so I call it coming home, and that's what I am, and I'm home here and back here in Arkansas.
But now look, you're a Southern boy. I mean, come on now.
Yes, sir.
You're born over in Eastern Tennessee there,
yes, sir.
And just there, and went up to New Jersey and New York City to get into big time, and it worked.
It worked.
But you came back to Memphis,
Always come back to your
Left
roots.
Memphis and came back again.
Come back again, and I kept coming, and I'm back. I was in Memphis last week, wrestling, and the whole thing is, hey, I was Southern born and Southern bred, and when I die, I'll be Southern dead,
You
and
all.
You bet, you all, yeah, bud. And I'll tell you, man, it's just the Arkansas people, I just talked to a fella. We're staying right over here at Fortune Inn, tonight, and. Man, it's just a wonderful community here, and we're going over to Walmart this afternoon after we leave here and sign some autographs. And
Our show's pre-recorded, so don't go running to Walmart if you're watching this later.
You missed
the day
it.
we taped, yeah, all right.
You missed Handsome Jimmy, and yes, but Ricky Rowland, and I have my daughter with me, Precious Valiant, and her husband, Dr. D, and of course, Ricky's a lovely mom, man. I just love her to death. She's my lady. She's been my lady, forever. And
she's been one of our fans on Channel 15 for a long, long time.
She never misses it. But never misses it.
She watches a lot of stuff we do.
Yes. And this whole area, I'm up in Virginia now is my home.
Shawsville. Yeah.
Shawsville, Virginia. Yes, sir. And if you say Shawsville and they say, oh, I know where that's at, they think you're saying Charlottesville.
Yeah, right.
Because Charlottesville is where the university is.
Yeah, big town.
Big town. Mm-hmm. But Shawsville, we're have a university too. We got Virginia Tech that is only 20 miles from us.
Pretty good school.
You bet, pretty good. In fact, it's a bigger school than Virginia.
Hokies.
The Hokies, man, they're on fire, man. I love them, and I love, of course, the Cavaliers too. But the whole thing is the mountains. I told Doc and Precious, I says, look at this Arkansas, man. They're just so flat, and I said, man, they're doing a lot of rice here. They're doing farming. I love the farm. And I do the rice and
it's
amazing, the soy.
It's amazing we grow rice around here.
It is,
Jim, because we found out years ago that we had something there was very little of in this country. We had an aquifer. We had water underneath there.
Yes, sir.
In eastern Arkansas, just right here in the Delta, along the Mississippi River.
Yes.
And there was enough water, although we're depleting it slowly but surely. That's another environmental problem.
Exactly.
But we still grow rice. We can pump that water up and grow the rice. There's nowhere else except a little section out in California that they can get that done in the United States. So that's pretty amazing.
It is, it is, because I've been in Japan. I've been all over the world. As I said, I was in Japan 5 times, and I would ride that bullet, man, to which was the fastest train. Man, you try to focus when it took off. You try to focus on a telephone pole as you're coming into a station where it slows down. Then you can't focus on nothing. That thing's going 200 miles an hour, man. But when it did slow down, and you see the rice paddies out there, and the people working, the good people, the Oriental people working, and I know how they do that. Here is just amazing. You're right, but the only area right here, and how they level that land, and how they got, it's a science. Just like the professional.
Nothing like technology.
Oh my goodness.
It's not like 1964 when you started wrestling, and I was a wrestling fan, and those were the days when the heel Sputnik Monroe.
Oh, brother, against Billy Wicks.
Billy Wicks, the blonde-haired dream.
Look out,
I'm telling you, look at. There were times when I sat there and cussed Sputnik Monroe as a 14-year-old kid.
You so
how dare you hit little Billy like that?
He had that bronze strike right through the center of his head, and he'd call himself the Sweet Man, and Diamond Ring and Cadillac Man, and he'd wear them wild shirts and suits, and way before his time, and interviews, and which interviews is everything,
Yeah, Lance Russell in Memphis, starting at WHPQ at 13, then moved over to WMC Channel 5.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And there's no doubt that that television program made Memphis wrestling what it was. And a lot of people, young kids, don't know. And I tell them, I said, there are nights on a Monday night with the Coliseum where they cram 12, 15,000 people in that Coliseum to see wrestling. It's, oh man, isn't that many people go see Memphis State play basketball? And I said, well, they went on to to see wrestling, you know, in the Mid-South.
You know, Bud, and this is gospel, just like you said. You know, we'd sell that Memphis Coliseum out if you got a real hot angle going,
Right.
something like Sputnik or something like, you know, Lawler and whoever. And
The Valiant.
yeah, there you go. God bless, man. I was fortunate, but the thing is, when you had something hot and you'd sell it out week after week, and if you do that for a month straight, just like Bud said, you'd put 10, 12,000 people in there. Well, people don't realize that this is 4 Mondays out of a month. And so we're drawing actually more money than Vince McMahon
Right.
Sr. in the WWF
Absolutely.
because Madison Square Garden only held 23,000 people. So
You worked the Garden.
yeah, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet. And a sellout was 23,000 people at that time. And now, you know, of course, there's more. But the thing was, that's the hottest venue was the Coliseum here in Memphis, because we did that 4 weeks. If you count all the money at the end of the month, well, we were making more money than New York was, you know, in wrestling, or at least Jerry Jarrett and you know, they were making, the promoters were making the money, but yeah, it was huge. It was
You
huge.
you mentioned your daughter Precious, and you've got some artwork I read on your shoulder or up here. All your kids.
All the kids, yes.
All the kids' names.
All the kids, and around this one elbow, man, you know, hey, you know, Hanson, he's crazy, but anyway, can you imagine putting your family tree around an elbow?
Why
and,
not?
You know, why not, man? Yeah, I think I know her, Tammy. Why not? I know.
Yeah,
that.
why not, Tammy? Why not?
Yeah. But you know, tattoos are painful. But man, can you imagine doing it around an elbow or doing it around a knuckle? Or yeah. But anyway, yeah, I do. I have from my father and mother, of course, and all Tennessee people, like we said,
And how many grandkids?
oh
these
man, I got
days?
a dozen grandkids and half a dozen great grandkids, you know, and yeah, man, and yeah, I'm 72 years old, bud.
I
Yeah.
started to say, you're getting around for a guy
Yes,
40.
sir.
You know?
Yes, sir. That's right, man. Hey, you know, I used to tell everybody, well, how old are you, handsome? And you know, and say I was 50 years old. Then I say, well, hey, I'm 35, man. And he says, they'd go, oh, man, oh, he's crazy. He's older than that. And he said, well, hey, maybe he is. Maybe he is. You know, he might have started real young. But then they say to themselves, hey, now if he's 35, well, he sure looks rough for his age. So now I'm 72. I tell them, you know, or I'll tell people that I'm 82.
You're 72
You know?
and looking as well as I've seen you in 25 years.
Well, God bless
That's
you.
the truth.
God bless you. And
They
you too.
look healthy and
yeah,
you know,
man,
just-
you sure enough. You're not.
I'll tell you
yeah,
what,
Yeah,
you know.
and your color and everything. I know you've been through a lot, man. And you
Oh,
know, Ricky's been
right.
keeping me in touch with that. I've been in
I
my
appreciate
prayers,
that.
brother. And
I appreciate
and
that.
brother, you're looking well, and God bless you, man, for that too.
We're coming right on through. You know, you and I have often talked about what the Lord's plan is
You
what
bet.
His plan, and I'm not going to mess with
No,
it. you
sir.
know.
No,
We're going to
sir.
take a quick break. We are visiting with the Boogie Woogie Man. We're handsome Jimmy Valiant, and we're just visiting with our friend Jimmy Valiant. You know, we'll be right back.
Jackson's Funeral Home and the Jackson family have been serving our friends and neighbors in Jackson County during some of the most difficult times of their lives for nearly 60 years. As the third generation of this family to own and operate Jackson's Funeral Homes, Jan, Rhett, and Jerry consider it the highest honor to be chosen to care for you and your family during times of need. We believe the highest standard of care is achieved when people are given the tools needed to make the most informed decision for the benefit of their family. For us, there's no greater honor than to care for our friends and our neighbors in their time of need. The Jackson's Funeral Homes, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue in Newport, phone number 870-523-5822.
Our pleasure to have just, you know, a Hall of Famer, or just a world champion, professional wrestler, Jimmy Valiant, with us, and recently in town, and occasionally gets to come over. Rick Rowland will bring Jimmy over to the Valiant Arena up in Tuckerman, and he'll be all around town a couple of times a year signing autographs and visiting with people. And this is, let me tell you something, I don't want to hurt his reputation, so here's what I'm going to say. This is a genuinely, wonderfully kind, genial, generous man who loves people, who does great work with kids, who is training wrestlers at a camp over in Shawsville,
Virginia,
who is an author, and what's the name of the book?
It's called Messy Daddy, Welcome My World. The Jimmy Valiant story, 582. In fact, we're in our second edition. So I added an extra 12 pages and some different little stories and pictures. So we got the more on it. And I just came out with my 50th wrestling DVD. And this shirt was a promotion. Two discs,
set, yeah.
Yes, 4 hours long. And it's the last thing I'm doing. And this is my last run, you know.
You don't know that.
Well, you don't know, but you're right. But you know, the whole thing is I'll never stop coming here, you know. And but you know, man,
I don't know if we'll have another 50 years, you know.
But
hey,
we're going to get as many as we can.
Enjoy what we get. That's right.
But yes, sir. God bless. Yes, sir.
But a generally great guy and a wonderful showman. I mean, you know, in professional wrestling, I love people to come up and tell me. Now, of course, professional wrestling is showmanship. It's entertainment, just like acting. I mean, being a movie star, it's like acting. And Howard Cosell, it was a news conference one time, and some guy was talking about Ali and said, well, I don't think he's the champ. And Cosell said, if you don't think he's the champ, you get in the ring with him.
That's right.
You know, it's dangerous in the ring. I don't care as much script as you have, and you have some, of course, and nobody's idiots. We understand that. But guys have died in the ring.
You bet. And it's tough.
And people have gotten seriously injured in the ring. And if you're not an athlete and you're not well-toned and well-tuned, you know, you can be in trouble. Because who in the world wants to go to a show and see a couple of guys out there that have no idea what they're doing, aren't athletes? They want to see people move. They want to see guys fly through the ring. It just they want to see the showmanship. And you were one of those guys up in the top 5 of all of the wrestlers in the world that provided that type of showmanship.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, compliment, and God bless you, you know. But you know, the thing is, Cosell said, hey, if you don't think, get in the ring with Ali. And the whole thing is, you know, he was a champion. He was a true champion because he was our Olympic champion.
Right.
And brother, they come out of Golden Gloves, and I mean, that's the real deal.
1960.
Yeah, so he could do it, you know. And then, of course, then he became one of the greatest showmen, you know. And just like professional wrestling, you know, hey, it's so much show, just like you said. But the whole thing is, it's tough. It's just tough, like boxing too. You got to take that punch, you know. And wrestling, you know, like, hey, if I take someone off the street and just pick them up over my head, now once your feet is off the ground, man, hey, you belong to that person who's got you in the air, because he can do anything he wants, and boom, and if he slams you down, I don't care if it's on a powder puff, man.
Yeah, they say, that ring is cushioned. Right. Well, you get up there and get
You bet.
slammed.
Hey, you got to take that bump. I don't care, man. You got to take that jar, you know, and you got to condition your body, you know.
If you hit the wrong way,
it's over.
If you get your head out of the way,
crack your head.
You're taught how to do it.
You bet.
You know.
That's
Speaking of which, who taught you how to wrestle?
Yeah, I started out, you know, just a young kid in Calumet City, Illinois, and my father moved up, Bud, you know, from Tennessee when we were young. He had five children.
I had an uncle that lived in Cal City.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Cal City.
He moved like many guys did in the South. Went north to work.
Yes,
and went to work at Ford Motor Company.
Oh, yeah, in Hegwish.
Yeah,
that's where my father worked.
How about
small world,
small
brother.
world.
And he moved there just like to raise his family, and came off a small farm, which we were all born on. I have 4 older sisters. I was a baby. I was the only boy, and he moved our family up to Hammond, Indiana, which is only 30 miles from Chicago downtown Loop,
and
right on Lake Michigan.
Not far from Gary, and
Gary
right on the lake.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you know exactly where we're
Cherryville and all that.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got a daughter who lives in Cherryville right now.
How about that,
man? It's a small world, bud. You know, so to do that, you know, my father did that to raise his family, and worked at Ford Motor as a millwright, and you know, it was an assembly plant in Hegewisch, the Ford, and so many Southern men. And you know, they love the Southern men for coming out from Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, because they were the hardest working men. They came off farms, man. They weren't lazy, and they would give that company or a lot of steel mills around there too. They you know, got work, but they'd give the company 100 and you know, 20%. They gave it all to them. You know, they just loved the Southern men, man. You know, because they were such hard workers and providers for their family.
And the guys, you know, at the time were getting out of the South because they could go up there and make a livable wage.
You bet. That was the whole deal.
And it was tough.
It was.
It was tough to be sharecropping, you know.
It sure was, sir. Yes, sir.
In the South. So,
you bet, man.
You know,
yes, sir.
My goodness, sir, 50 years.
50 years.
And you have wrestled, I guess, anybody that's everybody, you know, down through the years.
I really have. I was fortunate to wrestle all the world champions, you know, from San Martino, you know, in New York City, Madison Square Garden, to Vern Gagne in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you know, to
now, Vern had something to do with teaching you how to, did he not?
Well, you know, he had a school. He had one of the first schools, and the stories out there that I went to that, and I didn't. Okay. No, but he did help me. He helped me a lot. Just like Dick the Bruiser was my first mentor, and he ran WWA out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was coming out of Hammond, Indiana, and so they all helped me, and just like I help the young kids now, you know, and if you come before that person, you know, because we're a tight-knit family, you know, professional wrestling's tight-knit, just like Ricky's doing now with the Tuckerman, you know, in Tuckerman. Yeah, he's doing that. He's got all these young kids under his wing, and he's teaching them, you know, and I taught Ricky, see, and that's what you do. You pass this down, you know, you pass the education.
Well, he hadn't learned anything.
Oh, man. Yeah, I tell you what, you know, last night, and we were at the Arkansas Fair in Jonesboro, and wrestling. Yeah. Lawler was there, and myself, and Brian Christopher, and of course Brandon Baxter, and it was loaded. But anyway, Ricky came out, and he got on that mic, and it just gave me chills, man, because he was always a good talker, you know. I mean, from a young kid, I've known him since you know, just a teenager, you know, and he was a big fan, and we hooked up, and in fact, I talk about him in my autobiography, him and his mom, but the whole thing is, Ricky, he got on that mic, brother, and he just rocked that crowd and got them so fired up, and it just thrilled me, because I seen what, you know, of course he does it every week now. He's got his own company there in the Valiant Arena in Tuckerman. But Ricky, man, he just pleased me so much, and I poked Doc and I said, listen to this kid. Listen, and it made me proud, like I was his father, you know, because he was so good. He was so good, and had the people just eating out of their hand. A perfect example, they had a big setup there. It was at the big fair, you know, but something happened with their music to the national anthem, and so, man, just on a dime, I mean, show's got to go on. I mean, it's time to show, and of course we want to give respect, you know, and you know, we all do that before our matches. And he came out with the flag, and he explained to the people about it, and he says, y'all, you know, let's just have 1 minute of silence. Please stand. And everybody took their hat off and put their hand over their chest and their heart. And he says, let's just remember our soldiers and the people who fought for this great nation of ours. And again, and he held that flag so high for a minute. Everybody, you could hear a pin drop, man. Hey, I think the Ferris wheel stopped, man, and that was way on. I mean, man, it was like a blackout. It was just great, man, and so, you know, it just thrilled me what you know, what you can teach someone. Of course, then they got to be able to have it, because you got to have that charisma, man, like you have it, Bud, man, you know, and you have
strong
that
character.
Oh,
Positive action.
yes, and he was raised right, you know, he's a wonderful family, you know, and that's the whole thing right there.
We're gonna take another quick break, and then we are come back and we're visiting, and we're just having a great time with Jimmy Valiant, who has gracious enough to spend some time with us, and we appreciate you watching Remember When here on Cable 15 and on our website and on Facebook, and man, we're just all over the place. We'll be right
We're
back.
like Coca-Cola, we're all over.
We're visiting with handsome Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. And, you know, he says he's retired. His biography says he's retired, but he still works. You know, he'll be 102 working, you know, because
Just like you,
couldn't sit,
you,
just
buddy.
like me.
That's
Can't
right.
sit still.
No,
you know.
got to keep moving.
Got
man.
to get on the move. Got to get going. I want to take a segment here, and I just want to throw out some names.
Yes, sir.
And just give me a quick reaction. You can give me Jimmy Valiant's reaction, or you can give me handsome Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man's reaction. I don't care, but if I were to say to you, the Paul Jones Army.
Wow, man, you know, that was the longest running feud, I think, I don't know, but maybe, you know, in the history of professional wrestling.
It went on for years.
Actually, yeah, it went on for 5 full years, but it wasn't like, you know, once a week deal. At that time, Mid-Atlantic for the Crockett Corporation in the mid-'80s.
Big Jim.
Yes, sir, Big Jim, and his son then took over after he passed. God bless. But then the whole thing was that we wrestled 7 days a week, and we would wrestle 9 times a week because we'd wrestle 1 time every day. That's 7 days, and on Saturday we'd wrestle twice, and on Sunday twice.
Like a Broadway play. This is showbiz.
Showbiz.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was, in 5 years, 9 times a week, I would wrestle either Paul Jones or one of his army.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. Me and Lawler, now we've had a feud going for
You and who?
40. Yeah. Who is that? Who is that masked man? We got one going for over 40 years, but you know, it's just hit and miss. And of course, when I came in, it was hot and heavy. But yeah, I mean, we team up now, man. I seen him. I hugged his neck yesterday, man. You know, and loved him. I love him, man. But the whole thing is, you know, you continue feuds, but it's just through the years, and you may just do it a few times a year. You know, that's. You know, like
that was the first good one.
The first good one, yeah, you bet. But yeah, the Paul Jones Army, man.
Okay.
7 days a week, man.
Raging Bull Manny Fernandez.
Oh, brother, man, he tough man. He's one of the toughest, and you know, I tell you, the Bull, we had a real good thing. Of course, he was part of the Army. He was first my tag team partner. You know, he was a great scientific wrestler and rugged guy, man. You know, completely different styles, but it clicked as a team, and we were buddies, man, and you know, we were just road partners, and man, we'd go out, you know, years ago, I hate to say this, but you know, after the match, we'd all go to our water hole, man, and everybody'd get a 6-pack or 2 or, you know, 12-pack or something, you know, and we'd sit it right between our legs.
Diet Coke, right?
Yeah, Diet Coke,
Yeah,
and we'd go on down the road, but you know, we sweat all up that out of our body, and we'd put that back in. But the thing was, I remember Bull, every night he'd go in and he'd get him a big bag of them, the fried, you know, pig skins, you know.
Yeah, pork skins.
Oh, man, yeah, man. And he'd buy a
they're
little.
good.
Oh, they're good, but he'd buy a bottle of the Tabasco sauce in there, and he'd open it, and he'd take the lid off, and he'd throw that in the bag, you know, and he'd dump the whole bottle of hot sauce on there, and then he'd say, Boogie, you want to, no, brother, man, go ahead. And he'd eat that whole bag and drink that, what was it? Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Diet Coke, yeah. Drink that Diet Coke with that, man.
Yeah,
But he did, then he sold out. Paul Jones got him, gave him a suitcase full of cash to go with him to turn against me.
Yeah, turned against you.
Turned against me, man, and it was
Suitfuls of cash will do
oh,
that.
Oh man, he'll do it in a minute, man.
You started out as a baby face.
Yes.
You
yeah.
you had to become a heel.
Yes, and then of course back and forth.
You were a good heel for a guy as sweet as you are. You made a pretty good heel.
You know, I'm a people
That's good
person.
acting.
You bet, I'm a people person, and I couldn't be at that time, you know, and but of course when the Boogie Woogie Man was born, then I could get out and dance, and I'd hug, I'd kiss, man, you know. It didn't matter, they get blue, green, black, mother, father, grandma, grandpa, children, babies. It don't matter who. I kissed everybody, you know, in sight. I kissed the referee last night, you know.
And Jim, I've seen guys that had to put on the big costumes and had the makeup and all that stuff, and you just walked out there, and the charm and the charisma, and that carried the whole act. I mean, my gosh,
I appreciate it, brother.
You didn't have to dress up, you know. You didn't have to, come out with some gimmick. You know, the gimmick was that you are who you are, and the Boogie Woogie Man is what he is.
You know, exactly, you know, and the whole thing is that, you know, you're born with that, but of course you got to develop it.
Sure.
You know, it's just like a bodybuilder, you know, and hey, I'm real lean right now. You know, I weigh what I did in high school, but I did this purposely. And to trim back down, because why carry it around? And
yeah,
you know,
you're not 6'2", 200 anymore.
No, sir. No, sir. But you know, the whole thing is Ivan Koloff, God bless him, and he's my same. We were both born in August of 1942, and Paul Jones too. August 42, and another one.
The stars aligned, didn't they?
That's right, and also Ole Anderson, and God bless. All these guys, they're still, you know, big and heavy, especially Ivan, and they're broke down, and man, they just can't hardly walk. They got to hold on to, you know, their misses, you know, just to walk down the street. And I tell Ivan, I said, man, brother, just drop some of that because it's going to be easier on your joints. And he said, Boogie, I love to eat. I said, man, there ain't nobody loves to eat more than me. I love to eat. Hey, I talk to Doc and Pray. That's all I talk about is food. Me and my wife, my beautiful angel, man, we go to bed, we go anywhere. All day, I talk about food. That's all I talk about, you know.
I have seen Angel on the website. And
she's
boy,
great.
she must just
she
must
my
keep
life.
you in line.
She does. She cracks that whip, and you know, I was so fortunate.
Runs a business.
Runs a business. She got her own wrestling wear, and of course she runs our wrestling camp when I'm not there, and I'm there most every Sunday. I always get back, and this week, of course, I won't be able to. If I'm so far away. You know, like years ago, I'd go home. I'd leave Tuckerman, you know, after the match, and couldn't even visit with Ricky and much, and I'd just hug his neck, and man, I'd have to get that envelope and hit the road, you know, because, and I hated it, but you know, because there's no way. I knew I had 1,200 miles to go, you know, 12 hours. I'm sorry, 700 miles, and because I had to be there for the next day for camp. But now, you know, if I'm working late like I will be this weekend, of course, this is re-recorded again. Don't. Or show up there anyway, guys.
Yeah.
Show up at Tuckerman.
They will.
Yeah, show up, please. It don't
they
matter.
Always have.
You bet. But I won't be there because of that. But the thing is, you know, it's I won't do that no more. But you know, drive all night because. Man, it's just, I fought that will, man. I'd stick my head out.
And at 72, you're not an old man, but you're not a young man.
There you go, brother,
You
yes.
know, I'm 64, on my way to 65, and it wasn't too long ago, you know, that I felt I was about 18, and so were you. But,
you know, earlier in this segment, I didn't finish this one story. I tell people now, you know, I'm telling you all that I am 72, but I tell some people, how old you has 82. Oh man, then they go, oh man, you not that, and then he walks away and says, wait a minute now. Now, he's been around a long time. He may be 82, but then you know what they'll say? He'll say, man, if he's 82, he looks good for his age. So I get a compliment now, you know. So that's why I'll stretch it another 10 years. Instead of taking 10 off, I'll get that compliment from that cat, man, yeah.
I got a couple more names
yes,
here.
Sir.
A couple, three I want to throw at you.
Yes, sir.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, the son of a plumber, man. Yeah. He's got it. He's got the charisma, man. He's got one of the fantastic workers, you know. And you know, like now, you know, all these guys are chiseled up with the great bodies and all that. And you know, he was just.
Dusty wasn't real chiseled.
No, he wasn't chiseled, brother. He was a roly-poly. I love him, man.
Showman.
Showman. Oh,
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
And I talk in my book, you know, and hey, different people knock different people, brother, but I can't say enough for Dusty. Man, I made a lot of money with him, and you know, his mind was just such for our business. You know, there's certain people, you know, like that can work in the office and perform, and it wasn't me. I've been offered office jobs by Jerry Jarrett and other promotions, you know, but I says, no, I says, that ain't me. But now, like superstar Billy Dundee,
yeah.
brother. Hey,
he's on my list there to talk about.
Brother, let me tell you something, man. He is that type of person. He did it in Nashville with Jarrett, and you people don't know, but and he'd work every night. He'd work just like I would. But then we'd get home, you know, and he'd get home, and you know, I could do whatever I wanted. I would relax.
And he was hitting the books. Huh?
He was hitting the books and doing this. And the next morning at 9 o'clock, brother, he's over at Jarrett's house, at their office, and he stays there from 9. You know, to say we had to go to Louisville that next day, and we had to leave, say, at 2 o'clock. Yeah. Well, he would stay there till 1 o'clock. Man, from 9 to 1 every day, just an hour, and he'd run home, he'd grab a bite to eat lunch, and grab his bag and get in the car and go on the road, meet me or meet somebody. We'd go to Louisville, wrestle. And now here I've been to the gym, man. I've been sunning, I've been relaxing. He ain't done nothing, you understand? And then the next day, hey, same thing. We get home, it's 3, 4 in the morning. He crashes. 9 o'clock, he's back in the office. 9 o'clock, I'm just rolling over, brother. You know what I mean? So, you know, it wasn't for me, but it is for certain people.
As you say, some guys can do it.
Yeah.
And
love it.
Sharp businessman.
Love it.
Good entertainer.
You bet.
Excellent
He can
wrestler.
do it all.
Dundee, superstar.
Lawler, same way.
I saw in the biography Lou Albano's name.
Yes, sir.
You know, and
Captain Lou.
Some folks might remember Lou from being in Cyndi Lauper's video.
You bet. Rocking and wrestling. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Girls just want to have fun.
Oh, yes, you bet. Yeah. Oh, man, you Captain, God bless him, man. He in fact, you know, I gave him the name Captain, and because he would always come out. He was over with the people. He stayed there. He was a mainstay there with WWF, you know, and Vince McMahon Sr. and just like Freddie Blassie and the Grand Wizard, they kept the managers, and us guys would be coming in and out, you know, we'd stay, you know, a year, 15 months, and then every 4 years he'd bring you back or whatever the deal was. But they stayed there. But the Captain, man, he was a mess.
The McMahon family.
Yes. McMahon family, you know, now is 4 generations. Stephanie's the 4th, you know, promotion and leading at their WWE. Before that, now I worked all in the 70s for Vince Sr. Right. But before that, his father was Jess McMahon, and he gave Roy Clark his break. He did country western shows and boxing shows and wrestling shows, and then his son came in and did the same, rock and roll, but then Vince, his son Vince Sr., he then started straight up with all the wrestling and stayed with wrestling. And then Vince Jr., which the Vince McMahon you see today, then that was the 3rd generation, and then of course now there's 4 generations of McMahons. I can't say enough for them, you know. And again, you know, if you make money, man, you love them, and
they've evolved into politics and everything.
My goodness,
else.
Yeah. Oh, his wife Linda,
right.
you know, is running, you know, for senator yeah, you bet.
And regardless of what you say, they promote a really good show.
Oh, you bet they do.
You know,
You
and of course they're conflicting organizations now.
Yes, sir.
You know, but it's all part of it. Down through the years, there have been just numerous, you know. But you've held about every title there is out there. I mean, Southern Heavyweight Champion,
Yes, sir.
Midwest Champ 5 times.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My goodness gracious, you know.
Sure enough. Yes.
And I just got one other name left on here I want to talk about. We'll do that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll wrap it up with Handsome Jimmy right after this.
Jackson's Funeral Home and the Jackson family have been serving our friends and neighbors in Jackson County during some of the most difficult times of their lives for nearly 60 years. As the third generation of this family to own and operate Jackson's Funeral Homes, Jan, Rhett, and Jerry consider it the highest honor to be chosen to care for you and your family during times of need. We believe the highest standard of care is achieved when people are given the tools needed to make the most informed decision for the benefit of their family. For us, there's no greater honor than to care for our friends and our neighbors in their time of need. The Jackson's Funeral Homes, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue in Newport, phone number 870-523-5822.
Visiting with Jimmy Valiant, Handsome Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man, one of the great professional wrestlers of all time, a fabulous showman. And you've heard me say on this show, and I say it again, as good a showman as he was, he's a better man and a better gentleman. And I know that down through the years you had some feuds. But before I get to one big feud, I want to mention one other guy, Jimmy Hart. Because I met Jimmy when he was a member of the Gentrys.
Oh, my, yes.
Larry Raspberry and Jimmy Hart and the Memphis Gentrys.
Oh,
Keep on dancing.
Keep on dancing, man.
Garage band that went to the top of
yeah.
American music.
Yes, sir.
I love that song. I still do.
Oh, man, you still hear
Keep
it?
on dancing.
Yeah, and then they stop, and then they
and
start.
Stop for 2 seconds. Was it
boom,
over? Boom.
Boom. Pick it. Oh, I love it too. And yeah, they did it through one of the first music award or music TV was Ted Mack Original Amateur Hour.
Yeah.
And they won that, and they at that time you had to send cards and for your votes, and they done that, and they came back as semi, and then they came back as the winner, and being winning that for that year, that competition, that contest, they got a record deal, which they did Keep On Dancing, and that was a million seller for them, and and God bless. Then they had another one, Cinnamon Girl, and
that's a good song.
It sure was.
Good song.
Was, and but then they also in the by winning that they were in. You signed a movie contract. You were guaranteed to be in one movie, which they were in. So. And then he wanted to get into wrestling.
Well, he couldn't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag,
well,
but he was a pretty good character.
You bet he was. And I named him the Snake. He was a snake in the grass. Mouth of the South. And yeah, man. Yeah, and he, I love him. He helped me and Lawler, with our music. And I can't sing, man, but man, I did 3 records, and Lawler did probably half a dozen records, all because of Jimmy Hart. Jimmy, wrote and did the music arrangements and
sure.
Put
and
it
boy,
together.
you could not turn on FM 100 in Memphis, or without hearing that song.
Son of a Gypsy, and sure enough.
And the Boogie Woogie Man, hide all the girls, and Boogie Woogie Man's coming to town.
That's right. And the whole thing is that
your reputation preceded you, sir.
Oh, brother, man, yes, sir. And the whole thing, Bud, is they were never sold in stores. But I pressed, I don't know how many he did and Jarrett did, but I pressed personally 35,000 of these 45s.
Yeah.
And it took years. I mean, it took me 15 years or more to sell. But I mean, this is over the time, because I'd get 5,000 at a time, and one time I did 10. But I sold 35,000 45s, and all in arenas,
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised you didn't sell that many alone in Memphis.
Oh yeah, man. It was just amazing, to do something like that. And and you know, I don't have any no more, boy, and now they're hotter. Everybody's wanting them on eBay and all that stuff, but they're gone. But the thing is, I showed one young kid one time a 45. He said, "What is that? A CD? What is that?" I said, "No, it's a Frisbee."
I wish I had a nickel. You know, I'm an old radio man.
Yeah,
I'm
you
an old jock.
Yes, sir.
And I wish I had a dollar or a nickel even for every time I put a 45 over on that turntable and played it.
Oh, wasn't it great, man?
Oh, my
brother.
goodness.
Hey, I used to have a little 45 record machine and I had a 47 Ford Coupe when I was a kid, man. And we'd have it sitting down there, and I had it plugged in and hooked up, you know, hot wired up in a little machine, and I could play records. And you know, it was cool, man. I'd take my lady out, we just cruising around, and you hit a bump, and it up here, you know. But hey, I hooked me one up my car one time.
All right, let's talk about the king.
Yes, sir.
Jared, I don't mean Elvis. You know,
man.
And Lawler. What a great feud this has been. What a great, I know you guys developed a friendship, at least where you can tolerate each other. And just, but anyway, you and Lawler, and I looked at the old videotape the other night. I thought you guys were going to kill Lance Russell a couple of times. I mean, he was in the middle, you know.
Right in the middle.
Doing his part, doing the interviews, you know, but that relationship now was a little testy. I mean, there's showmanship, and then there's wrestling, and then that one had a little edge to it. Some real edge.
You bet. You know, it was another terrific run for me, you know, in Memphis and Louisville, Evansville, and all through Jonesboro, you know, and all throughout here, you know, with Lawler and man, you know, man, he took my, you know, he had the title, and I'm after the title, and he says, well, you know, you ain't got nothing to lose, so I said, well, hey, I'll put up I had a brand new Corvette, red Corvette. I said, I'll put my Corvette up. Give me that title. I said, title for title. Yeah. Well, man, he took the title for Corvette. Now he's got my Corvette, and you know, and I said, well, you know, then I offered him a suitcase full of money, man, and he took my money, you know, and man, you know, he took my diamond ring, man. He took it all, you know, and so I had to get back at him, you know, and so I cracked him in the head one time with a big bottle, you know, and you know, just we were there just last week with, this past night with Lawler 2 nights ago, and Doc, he said something about the bottle, and he took his shirt off, and he said, look here, Doc, and he still got the scars, man, on his arm and his chest where I got him with that bottle. And that was so hot, man. And I had death threats against my life, you know. And Jarrett, they were afraid that, you know, that people would get to me, you know, because I'm telling you, it was so hot, you know, that the police, they wanted to arrest me, and so they didn't know how to get me into Coliseum, because years ago when the Memphis Coliseum would sell out, all the people would come early, man, and line up to watch the wrestlers coming in, and they're looking for Handsome Jimmy, and they couldn't figure out how I was getting in the arena. So what happened was Buddy Wayne, and he was one of the promoters for Jarrett, and Buddy would pick me up at the airport, Memphis airport, and this was in the 70s, y'all. And so I had fly in, and he had a big old Cadillac, and he would get me in the car, and I'd lay down in the floorboard in the back, and he'd cover me up with like army blankets and everything. And then he'd drive in and he'd wave to all the fans, because you know, they all love Buddy, and I'm in there, and they'd let him, instead of, because it was all fenced in where all the wrestlers parked, but they'd let Buddy, that opened the big door, and let him drive right on in the building, and shut the door early, and then I'd get out, and the same thing, then he would sneak me back out the same way, and they said, how's he getting in? Man, they're got every door blocked. how's Handsome getting in? They didn't know, you know. But yeah, it was a hot feud. And then, oh my goodness, one time I hit him with the crutch, man. And, you know, one time, you know, we was going to shave heads, man, or something. And I think that's when I busted him. I couldn't wrestle. I had a doctor's excuse. I said I slipped and fell on ice, you know, getting off the airplane, man. And so I didn't want my hair cut because he's taking my old ladies, he's taking my money, my Corvette. Now he's trying to get my old lady, and now he wants my hair, you know.
There's a song called
I said,
Mary
there's a stop here somewhere.
Everything.
Yeah. So man, what a crazy deal. And so I'm on crutches, and he turned his back to me, and everybody thinks I'm gonna hit him with a crutch, and I didn't even. I said, no, man, Lance Russell, look. Brother, man, is swollen. But finally, he did one time. He said, "Man, this has been," and I cracked him, boy. And that crushed,
years of frustration.
Oh, brother, man, it just exploded, brother. Hey, and I took that crutch and worked him over, and I took the clippers and I started cutting his hair. And now here comes the fans, brother. They're rushing the ring, and it's almost a riot. And so, brother, I see that, and man, I'm out of here. Man, I'm jumping, I'm diving over people, and man, I'm getting out of there, and the cops are surrounding me, and I'm fighting, and they're poking at me, burning me with cigarettes. They're doing everything. And anyway, I made it out of there, and they got me right out of there, right back to the airport. I flew back to Chicago. You know, I was living in Hammond there, and so the whole thing was that. Jarrett, they did riot. Even after I left, they just went crazy, and the big newspapers came out the next day, and the Coliseum, it was something like, you know, and this was a lot of money, you know, it's a lot of money
this
today.
Made national news.
Oh,
this
yes.
wasn't just Memphis,
no.
you know.
They broke windows and everything, and it was something like almost $40,000 worth of damage to the Coliseum. And you know, and now, you know, they're going to bar me. They said, well, you can never come back, and they had to straighten it out with the everything, you know. But it was such a hot thing, they had to bring me back, because you know, to make money, man, you know. So it was a Lawler, man. I just.
It's been beneficial to both of
you. You bet it has. You know. Yeah. That King, he's driving a brand new Cadillac, man. Right now, brother. You know, he just bought the Batmobile. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's got.
But he's working for McMahon. So
he's got all
right,
the money,
you know,
and he deserves it, man. And hey, it's all good, brother.
And he does, and I'm one of those guys that I think Jerry puts on a great show, just announcing, you know, being a color commentator. It just for what they ask him to do.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's very good at it. You know, and occasionally we'll get up in the ring, and which, you know, everybody says we like to see him get his block knocked off.
You bet. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Someone. Yeah. You love to hate, man. There you go. Yeah. Sure enough.
Lawler's been a good guy. He's been a heel. He's changed 15 different times, but hey, that's all right. You know, it's been fun. It's been entertaining. Now let me tell you something, folks. This man has a wonderful life story. You've heard a lot of it, but if you want to really read about it, you know, it has the book, the DVDs, has the wrestling camp in Virginia. We're crawling, and we'll be crawling the website that you can go to.
Thank you.
And just go to the website. Now, I just Googled Jimmy Valiant. You can just Google it, and there's several different things. There's his life story. There's a short documentary, you know, a few minutes that's on there, and it's great. It's absolutely fabulous. And if you want a real good look at the way things used to be, and there are a lot of highlights and clips of Memphis wrestling and his feud with Lawler, and a couple of near knockdown drag-outs with Lance Russell. It is just really entertaining. It's just really, really entertaining. And like I say, if you think it's all fake, you know, you get in the ring with them.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
My friend, welcome back.
God bless.
Like your second or third home here in Jackson County, Arkansas.
Yes, sir. God bless
And
you.
just, it's
Yes,
my pleasure to
You
see
too.
you as always.
You too, always.
You're
man.
always welcome here at Cable 15 TV.
Thank you so much, bud, and God bless you. And you know, I wake up in the morning, y'all, first thing I do, my eyes wake up, and I said, thank you, Jesus, and I says, praise the Lord, and my next thing I say is, Godspeed to all. I say that every day of my life. During the day, I say it to myself, I say it out loud, I say it to my wonderful angel, the people I love. Doc hears it, he hears it every day, you know, and Precious, and you know, it's something, you know, y'all, just to be here and be lucky and be thankful for what you have. You know, I know you've been through some real rough times. I have, man. You know, I have myself and different things. In my autobiography, you know, I tell dirt, you know, not on different people, which I got dirt on everybody. I know it all. Anybody wrestled the last 50 years, I know stories about them that I could put in my autobiography, but I don't say that. But what I do tell in my autobiography is dirt. I mean, dirty dirt on myself, you know. And the reason I do that, you know, hey, I was on cocaine, man, 10 years. I did it every day of my life for 10 years straight, you know, and the reason that I tell this is so that one child or one kid or one person, you know, if I can help them not to do what I did, you know, or do, you know what, then my life and my book is not in vain, you know. So, yeah, hey, I have the DVD and my, again, but at my wrestling camp, you know, Boogie's Wrestling Camp, Hall of Fame Museum. And if you're ever in the great state of Virginia, y'all come out, please. Be my guest. There's no charge. Me and Angel started this 23 years ago, and it's all free. We only do it once a week. It's from 12 noon to 4 p.m. And you come to Sundays only. And from Sunday, from 12 noon to 4. 52 Sundays a year we're there, no matter what. Hey, if Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever, your birthday falls on that Sunday, it don't matter. We're open.
Open to the public.
Yeah, open to the public. And it's all free. It's all free. That's the best part. This is what we give back to the great wrestling fans.
Yeah,
bring the kids, and it's all family oriented, and I'm there, and meet Angel, and yeah, she's got a wonderful thing. She does, she made these tights, boogie woogie tights, you know, she does different outfits, you know, for the wrestlers, and she's got her own wrestling company, as you mentioned before, Angel's Wrestling Wear. And hey, just check out jimmyvaliant.weebly.com, jimmyvaliant.weebly.com, and I appreciate you putting the crawler on that for me. But if you want a little souvenir, you know, or autograph picture or book or my double set 50 my life stories on that DVD and my book, T-shirts, keychains, hey, you name it, you know, hey, we got it all. And check out the website because it's all on there for you. How to order, and you know, this, and again, if you're ever in the great state of Virginia on a Sunday, you come and be my guest and hang out with us and watch the kids train. You can go, you got full access to all our buildings, our Hall of Fame Museum. Come be my guest, and God bless you, bud. And I love your brother Dave, man, Dave Black, man.
You do?
Oh, I love him.
You're one of the few.
Yeah, man. He says, you ain't changed a bit. I said, you ain't either, brother, man. The only thing that changes them hot donuts, man. Man, them hot donuts.
Let me tell you what, he is a great guy.
Yes,
and he has been a godsend to me.
I know he is. You all are just alike. You talk, man. You both are so energetic, and man, good-looking cats too, man. You guys should go to Hollywood, man. I'm telling you about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The brother, man. You can make a good tag team.
I can't get out of Newport.
Look out, man. God bless you. I love you,
my friend
sir.
Jimmy Valiant, you know, and the Boogie Woogie Man. Might get some of that memorabilia, folks. I mean, it's worth something now. One of these days he won't be here, and that's when it really becomes worth something.
I'll be in the big sky, the ring in the sky, you know, with all Dick the Bruiser and, you know, all my mentors and the rest of the good boys, you know. And I'm going to see you up there, my man.
I'll be there.
Yes, we're going to be with the Lord Jesus. You bet we will.
We will have some
yes,
fun.
Sir.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. On behalf of all our crew, for Jimmy Valiant, I'm Bud Black. We appreciate it.